Welcome to this video. Today we will talk about two methods of depreciation. This is a concept lecture, revision. So the two methods we will talk about is straight line method and written down value method. We have already completed two videos on the concept of depreciation. If you haven't already listened to those two videos, look for them on my channel and do listen to them before you reach the methods of depreciation. So these two methods of depreciation are by and large mathematics. They're really not accounting in a true sense. Once you know the concept of depreciation, for which we already have two lectures, after that applying those concepts is the mathematical element of the accounts, right? So the two methods, straight line method. So it is the simpler of the two methods from a mathematical point of view. Straight line, as it indicates, is if you see the amount of depreciation year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 right until the end of the useful life, and you plot it on a graph, it is going to be a straight line because the amount of depreciation is the same in every year. So that's how it is called straight line method. It's also got a few other names, original cost method, so on. So how do you calculate depreciation in this method? This is already explained in the earlier lecture. The basic method, which is about calculating the cost of the asset minus the residue sale value divided by the number of years, which is the useful life. So when you do that, you are arriving at a fixed amount of depreciation per year. From an examination point of view, you will be given a rate of depreciation. It could be 10%, it could be 15%, 20%, 30%, whatever X percentage, and that percentage of depreciation is what you calculate in the first year. In the first year, if the asset value is 50,000 and the rate of depreciation has been given as fixed cost method or straight line method as say 10%, then 10% on the year 0, 50,000. So 5,000 is decided as the depreciation amount every year, which essentially means at the end of 10 years, the value of the asset in your balance sheet will be down to 0, because from 50,000 every year you are subtracting 5,000. So that's straight line method for you. The other method is written down value method. Written down value method means the value which has been written down in your ledger, in the ledger of your asset, which is the particular asset we are talking about. So whatever is the written down value, on the first day of the year you will apply the rate of depreciation on that value and not on the original cost. So straight line method or original cost method says that the rate of depreciation has to be applied on the original cost, which is when it was purchased, and written down value says you have to apply that rate of depreciation on the value which is written in your books of accounts on the first day of the year. So that written down value will keep diminishing. That is written down. So that's also called a diminishing cost method. So you start with 50,000. Your rate of depreciation is 10%. So in the first year, whether you are doing method A or method B, the amount of depreciation will always be the same. Now 50,000 and you subtracted 5,000, you're down to 45,000 as your book value or written down value. These are terms which will be used interchangeably. They mean the same thing, right? So your books of accounts, when you say written down value, it's in your books. So now your closing balance for that year will become 45,000. Opening balance for the next year is 45,000. Now this is the written down value, 45,000. You apply 10% on 45,000 at the end of the year, so that's 4,500. So at the end of the year, now your closing balance will be 40,500. In the method A, which is straight line method, your closing balance was 40,000. So WDV method, I will use the acronym now, is going to lead to a higher book value at the end of year 2, right? So on that, now you again apply 10%. So that will be 4,005. So that will now be subtracted from the book value in the third year as the depreciation amount, and then you will get a closing balance. So what you will see is that the amount of depreciation goes on reducing every year. It is basic math. Like I said at the start of the video, applying these two methods is knowledge of maths. It is really not knowledge of accounts. Knowing the fact that there is a difference between these two methods is an accounting concept. and beyond that, doing it's math. We'll not cover much of that in this video here today. You've got to know your math, right? Now we'll also quickly go over the journal entries that are applicable when you purchase an asset. The journal entry is a real account is being purchased, it's coming into your business, real account debit, which is the asset account debit, and on the credit will be, if you paid real money, then to your to bank or to cash, and if you have purchased on credit, then it is to the name of the person, that is the person who's the giver, right? And when you did the credit of either bank or cash, the cash is going out, so you credit cash, and bank is, if you consider it to be cash, then it's anyway going out, and you consider it to be a personal account, which is a bank, then again your bank has been the giver of that money. So credit to the bank, cash, or to the person from whom you bought it on credit. So that's year zero entry. In year zero, you will also incur certain expenses, not always, but sometimes, to install a machine. So these are called year zero costs. These are all expenses which need to be capitalized. The technical word I'm using is these expenses need to be capitalized, which means they need to be added to the cost of the asset. Why do you do that? So any cost incurred to get the machine into a functional state so that you can start using it is all part of the asset cost. It is not, so if you paid transportation for moving this asset, you purchased it and you paid 2000 units of currency to transfer it from the location where it was purchased from to your establishment, so 50,000 plus 2,000, so the cost of the asset becomes 52,000. Let's say in addition to this 2,000 you also paid another 3,000 rupees for getting training, right? Let's say it's a complicated machine and you don't know how to use it, the manufacturer does training, so you paid another 3,000 for training, right? So 3,000 will get added, so it will become 55,000. Right, you could incur even more cost, right? So labor, the machine is very heavy, it needs to be picked up, etc., and moved, so the labor may charge you 5,000, so then that becomes from 55 to 60,000 now. So asset which you bought at 50,000, it gets recorded in your books of accounts at 60,000 because of these incremental costs. These are all to be capitalized. So when you capitalize an expense related to a fixed asset, the journal entry is going to be fixed asset account debit, the asset account debit, and credit will be that respective credit will be the bank, right, or the cash, right, because you're actually paying real money. So that's journal entry when you purchase the asset. After having purchased it, you will have depreciation. So depreciation account debit, and credit will be the asset account. So that's the second important journal entry. Your third journal entry is going to be when you sell the asset at the end of the useful life, whatever residue value you got. So debit, what comes in? Debit is your cash or your bank account, and credit is your asset account. Now there could be a profit or a sale on the sale of the asset. So let's say you had depreciation and your book value had been reduced from 60,000 down to say 6,000, but you sold this for 5,000, so you made a loss of 1,000. So you will have to also pass an entry for the loss, right? So losses are nominal accounts, you got a debit or losses. So loss on sale of machine will be debit, and credit will be your asset account, which is your fixed asset account, right? So that's the journal entry for sale of your asset at the end of the useful life, along with the profit slash loss. If it's a profit, the journal entry will be vice versa, fixed asset account debit to profit on sale of machine. So these are the important journal entries which you need to know. Journal entries should always be in your head. You should be able to construct a journal entry in your mind without a need for a piece of paper. You can start by constructing journal entries on paper, and as you gain in your knowledge and confidence, you will be able to do these journal entries in your mind. So depreciation is a simple topic. We are not taking examples here. This is a concept level lecture, and this is only about helping you understand, right? There is differences in all. You can look at textbooks. They will talk about SLM versus WDV method, what is good, bad, and what are differences. Take a look. Thank you for listening to the lecture, and look forward to having you attend more lectures. Do share and